everyone, I'm Lisa Tice. Welcome to So Fun this month for March. I cannot believe we're in 2022 and it's already March. I feel like Lynn said something about that, but it's true. It's just going so quickly. I have some fun projects to show you and talk to you about today, and some really fun notions to share with you. So stay tuned and let's get going. The first thing I want to talk to you about is this darling ebony dress and top. And this is a really quick sew, a versatile pattern. It includes sizes 0 to 20, and it has a dress, a short top, and then a longer tunic top with a dropped hem at the back, a waterfall hem at the back. It has 3 different necklines, a regular round neck, a higher crew neck, and a scoop neck that's a little bit lower. And it also has raglan sleeves or set-in sleeves. And it has long sleeves or short sleeves. So it's like a really versatile pattern, and they're so quick to make up. And I think you could probably make yourself a whole summer wardrobe just out of this pattern because there's so many variations that you can use. And I really like this pattern because I think it's really flattering on every body type. You know, I have for years now been at the point of my life where I like clothes that are not so tight. I like them to sort of float away from the body a little bit. So I think that that's a really flattering silhouette on everybody. So for So Fun, I made the raglan sleeve, a short sleeve with the waterfall hem in the back, and I made it out of this soft rayon blend knit, and I zipped it up on my serger, and it just sewed up so quickly, and it has such a nice drape. And I think that I'm really going to enjoy wearing this summer. And I probably am going to make more of this pattern because I just think it's so wearable, a real quick pop over, and it'll be cute over shorts or with a skirt, or I could make a little t-shirt dress for myself to wear this summer. So many different variations. And like I said, it's almost like instant gratification sewing, especially the raglan sleeve, which I did. So quick to sew up. A really, really quick project. So I think you'll really like that. The next project that I want to talk to you about is this little travel needle keeper. And it's a little, needle keeper, like it says in the title, but it is where you can store all of your needles when you're doing hand sewing and things like that. And it has this clever little triangle shape. I'll show you my version of it. The other thing that's cute about this pattern is that it uses these Renaissance ribbon packs. And that's what is on that's what makes the outside fabric of the needle keeper. So I used this darling Tula Pink homemade ribbon pack. And I used the ribbon that has the little hand sewing hands on it and the one that looks like a little measuring tape. So it turns out super cute. It fastens with a snap. The pattern called for a sew-in snap, but I have a snap and rivet press, so I just used that to do a set-in snap. That feels more secure to me than a sew-in snap. And so it just opens up like that, and then you can, put your needles in here and stuff like that. I sewed one of my little tags in there. And then you fold it up and snap the snap, and you have lots of little different sides of the triangle to store different needles in. I think they're pretty quick to make up, and I think this would be an absolute darling gift to give people, those that you have in your life that do hand sewing. So I think you'll really like this quick little project. It makes a cute gift, it's useful, and there's lots of different ways that you can personalize this depending on the ribbons that you use. If you didn't want to make it with these cute ribbons on the outside, you could certainly just use a piece of fabric that you like for the outside. So I really like that little needle keeper. Again, a quick little project, turns out really well. When we're thinking about sewing fabric, one of the really, or not fabric, sewing garments, one of the really great notions that I discovered are these pattern weights. And I have had pattern weights in the past that I have used of various shapes, but I love these. You can see that there are two that are just like long and rectangular. There's this one that has a curve, and this one that is a straight angle, a right angle. And they're quite heavy, and it is so much easier than pinning. So when I was making the garments that I made this month for Sew Fun, I used these pattern weights, and it just held everything so securely. I didn't rip my pattern up with the pins trying to move it around, and they were really quick and easy to move around where I needed them to be if I had something that was too big that these 4 weights wouldn't hold. It didn't happen very often, but they worked really, really well. I think that they're going to be a useful notion, and in fact, I put them in a little place right next to my cutting table where they're going to be accessible, and I think I'll use them a lot. So these nifty notions pattern weights were pretty great for garment sewing that I did this time. Okay, speaking of these darling ribbon packs, I have a couple different packs for you. One of the other patterns that I used them for was this by Annie Renaissance ribbon bags. And they're these cute little zippered bags that it's made with the outside being these pretty ribbons. And so again, kind of customizable. You can use lots of different ribbons to make these however you want. And so let me show you my version of this and how I did that. The bags are in 2 sizes, and I made both sizes. And this is the larger size. And so I used 3 of the different ribbons from this K Fawcett ribbon pack that I have for you guys today. And then the bottom is this 5-inch wide velvet ribbon that I ordered online that I found. I actually ordered it from Renaissance Ribbons. And so they're really fun. They're lined, of course, and they're soft and stable on the inside. And the way that by Annie, the instructions have you make these is that you sew in the zipper first, and the zipper, you use 1 30-inch zipper, and you separate it and fold it in half, and that's what makes, you use 1/2 of the zipper, one side of the zipper for each of the bags. So 1 30-inch zipper makes both of these bags, because it's, I don't know if you can see, there's no seam in this side. So it's one long rectangle. You fold the zipper in half, put the zipper pull on it, and then sew the side seam. And that makes your bag. And so what the instructions have you do is sew, like flip the lining up out of the way, and sew each row of ribbon down to the soft and stable. So it kind of makes this little puffy, I don't know, these little puffy quilted lines almost, as each ribbon row is sewed down to the soft and stable. I thought they made up really, really pretty and really cool. Another cool product that I have for you guys that I used on the small bag is Sally Tomato has come out with this faux fur fabric. And I have 2 different colors for you today, and this is this dark leopard print, this dark gray and black. And I use that as the bottom fabric for this bag instead of using the really wide velvet ribbon. And I actually really like how that looks. I think that turned out really good. And in a minute, I'll show you the project that I used for the other faux fur that I have for you today, the Sally Tomato, which is like this tan beige leopard print. And these were kind of fun to work with. Sally Tomato makes great stuff. You guys know we love her Notions, love the things that she makes and does. Works really, really well. The next thing I want to talk to you about is this fun new Kimberbell disc called Annika's Throw Pillows. It has 3 different designs, each in 3 different sizes that you can make, and you have the option of either applique or chenille. And it gives you instructions for how to then construct the pillow and how to do the chenille and how to do the applique. And they turn out really great. And I love anything that's sort of home dec-y. And so I have for you today the chevron pillow. This is the medium size. It's 16 inches. And you'll see that I used this Sally Tomato faux fur to have the background fabric of the pillow. In the disc, they recommend using velveteen for the background. And I know in the stores we have the Kimberbell velveteen, so you can certainly do that as another option. So when I was making this pillow, a couple of things I had to be careful about. This fur, like velveteen, definitely has a nap. It goes one way. And because you're making this in 6 different panels and then sewing them together to make the pillow, so each panel just has 2 of the chevron shapes in it. And because you're flipping half of them upside down so that the points meet in the middle, you have to make sure when you are putting the background fabric, which for me was this faux fur, on your embroidery hoop, make sure that half of them you're flipping it upside down so that when you sew this together, the nap goes the right way all the way down the front of the pillow. Does that make sense? So you don't want to be like running your hand down the pillow and then you get halfway and all the fur is going the other way and it's all like prickly or something like that. So pay attention to that, and velveteen is the same way. It has a nap. So pay attention if your background fabric has a nap of some kind. For any of the designs, you have to remember to flip the bottom half, flip half of your panels the other way. So I did just the applique, as you can see. And when I was doing this, I was thinking, well, I would like this to be sort of a summery pillow. So I auditioned several different prints and colors with this background. And nothing was quite working for me. I tried some pinks and yellows, I tried some blues, and it just wasn't working. And then I hit on this orange flower fabric, and I thought, oh, that feels very bright and summery. And I found this other sort of variegated orange. It has like a pattern with lighter orange in it to pair it with, and I thought, oh, I'm really gonna like this. And I got it all done, and I finished the pillow and put the pillow form in it, and when it was all done, I looked at it and I'm like, it looks kind of Halloween-y to me, or something like that. Like, that was not my intention at all. I don't know. Mallory said that she thinks it still looks kind of summery, but I think she was saying that because it's so fun week, and she knows I'm, kind of at the end of the projects I can take on. But I think that this was pretty quick and easy, and like I said, there's lots of different variations that you can use. If you come into one of the stores after So Fun and look at some of the samples, I'll have a couple more for you to see too. So that will be really fun. I think that this faux fur is pretty easy to work with and adds a nice dimension. I think it'd be really fun to make a purse out of it. There's lots of things that you can use this faux fur for. That was a lot of F's in a row. And one of the things to keep in mind when you're sewing with faux fur or cork or any of these specialty fabrics, they tend to dull your sewing machine needle pretty quickly. So don't forget to pick up an extra pack of needles next time you're in the store, and that will help you keep on track with that. This is called the June Taylor Magic Seam Wand, and it's made out of wood. You can see what it's shaped like, and you can see it has this nice big flat angled surface. And what this is it's like a seam presser for pressing out your seams. And because it's wood, it will absorb some of the heat if you're using it while you're ironing. So I have actually used this quite a bit since I got it a couple months ago. It's great right next to my sewing machine if I need to finger press something really quickly. This has a nice wide surface. It works really, really well for doing that against the hard bed of my sewing machine or the table. I can just really quickly finger press something using this little seam wand. Where I really found it helpful, when I was using this faux fur, which cannot take direct ironing very well. You have to be careful it's not too hot or anything. I didn't actually melt any of the faux fur, but it says on it to not use a hot iron. And so it's hard, it's thick, and it was hard to press open these seams because there's seams going between these 6 panels. But what I did is I hit it with some good steam, and then I used this pressing wand to press down on the seams that were nice and really warm and steamy, and ran this down those seams, flipped it over right side up, steamed it again, and pressed down on this side as well. And that really did a really nice job on these more challenging thick fabrics that we're experimenting with and liking to use, of pressing those seams really nice and open. This worked really, really well. So I feel like this was a really useful tool. Another really fun notion that I want to talk to you about today, and this is from the Gypsy Quilter. This is awesome. It's this set of tools that come in this cute little purple pouch, and they're called Stitchy sticks. And there's some fun things in here. So first off, we have this one, and on one end, it has this little like leaf-shaped flat spatula tip. And this works really great if you need to get under the edge of something that has been fused, or you're trying to take the fusible backing off of something. This little spatula works really well. It also works well to press down on something you're trying to hold if you need to iron it. This little, because it's metal, again, it will heat up and helps with pressing things. It will, because it has like this little angle, you can kind of get under your embroidery machine if you're trying to hold something close, but you can't get your fingers in there close enough. So you can kind of wedge that in there and watch carefully and hold something in place. Really useful for different kinds of sewing and ironing and applique projects. The other end of this one has, it's a rounded tip, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a slant right here. So it's like, they call it a little finger. It's like a little finger press. It's flat right here, so round all the way up, flat right here. And again, I use this so much for like pressing seams open, holding things down, pressing seams open, holding things down. If I need to turn up a 1/4 inch on something and press that down, this little like finger works really well. And it can kind of like shove something under your sewing machine foot if you're trying to get under there. Lots of little uses. One of the great things about these little tools is that they're square. The handle part you hold on to in the middle is a square. So if you set it down, it's not going to roll anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. You're not going to lose it. It's not going to roll across. The other great thing is that if you need to measure and mark a 1/4 inch, the handles of these are perfect for that. They are just a little bit less than a 1/4 inch, and it's the perfect amount less for like a line of a pencil or a line of a pen, like a friction pen or something like that. Because I feel like sometimes when you're trying to mark something a 1/4 inch, you have your ruler right on a 1/4 inch and you draw the line, and then it's a little bit more than a 1/4 inch because your pencil or pen or whatever cannot get right at the 1/4 inch at the edge of the ruler. But with these, the handle, it works perfectly. The next thing in this little pouch is this little turning tube, and you can use this with like this blunt end to turn a tube of fabric right side out if you need to do that. So right handy in there, ready for you to do. The third tool, also super useful. One end has this little like ball foot. You can see it, and it's flat on one side. So again, perfect for pressing down on something, holding things in place really, really securely. It is a great size for trying to maneuver around your sewing machine or your embroidery machine. It's great at the ironing board. And I also have used this one when I was trying to cut precisely around something and I didn't want my finger. I was trying to use like my tiny rotary cutter and I didn't want my finger right down there. But I used this little round ball, flattened ball one to hold something really securely so I could cut around it. It worked great. The other end of this one, and it has a little protective cover, is a stiletto. Super pointy, and we all know how useful stilettos are. You can, when you're sewing, you can grab the edge of something and like sewing binding around something small or tight, and you can pull it in with your stiletto. It will hold something if you can't put a pin under there. It will hold something that you can get right close to your needle where it's stitching so you can catch it really easily. So this is just a really fun little set of tools. All handy, super useful. If you Google these, there's lots of YouTube videos of people finding all kinds of things that they can use these for. And then you can keep them really always handy where you need them to be in their own little pouch. And then you just have them for whenever you need them. So, Stitchy sticks, super fun, super useful, and kind of cute. And well, so it hits all the buttons. All the things. Makes sense. Okay. The next little project I want to tell you about is very timely because we have Easter coming up. And it's these cute little drawstring bags, and it's called I'm All Ears. And these sew up super cute and quick. Mallory actually made these for me because, well, her little people really were enamored of these. And look how darling these are. These little drawstring bags with the bunny ears. So stinking cute. The tails are just this little yo-yo. And so in the pattern, it gives you instructions on how to make this, and that's what Mallory did. But if you have a little yo-yo maker, then it's even quicker for you. And then that just makes the little tail. It's lined, and it would be perfect for some fun little springtime treats for somebody. I think these are cute for kids, but I also think this would be darling for a friend or a neighbor or anybody that just needed a little fun little treat of some kind in this darling, darling little bag. Makeup really cute, super fun. Mallory said the only thing she changed about the pattern is that the drawstrings on the end, it was just the raw edge of the fabric and cut at an angle. And, you know, Mallory, that like is never going to fly. You don't leave the raw edges anywhere. So she tucked those under and stitched them and closed that all up. So that should be no surprise to anybody who knows her. But they're super darling. Delaney, her little Delaney, who's now 4, I don't know if you guys can believe that, said, Mom, are those for us? And she said, no, they're for work. And she goes, are you going to sell them? And Mallory said, no, they'll eventually come back to us. But they're really cute, and the kids loved them, and I just think that they're a quick, fun little gift and very, very seasonal and timely. I'm going to set some things away. Let's see. Oh, our book club book for this month is Seabound, and the quilt out of it is a wall hanging that is paper pieced, but it goes together really, really quickly. It doesn't have that many paper pieced blocks to do. So check out the Facebook page where we're going to talk about our book and our book club, and you can then on the Facebook page see my variation of this. So it's a fun little mystery. Read along with the rest of us, and we can talk about it on Facebook. Seabound. That's the book club book for this month. Okay, let's talk about another garment here. This is the Remy raglan top. Actually, this might be in the way of you seeing that. This is the Remy raglan, and it's not knit, it's woven, and I chose a linen blend. So it does wrinkle a little bit, but not very much. Not nearly like 100% linen does, but it has that nice kind of linen-y feel. This was a really nice make that didn't take too long. There's a couple different variations of this as well. There's a long sleeve with like a boat neck, and then there's a short sleeve that has this split neck with a little loop and button in the front, and that's what I made. All the seams are French seams, so everything is enclosed, and that always gives a really nice finish on any garments that you're making, and that really makes it look much more professional and clean and nice. Again, the raglan sleeve is super easy to make, very quick and flattering. I think this is going to be a fun little summer top, and makes up really, really nice. I think that you will like it. One of the fun notions for clothing that I have is this little Singer wardrobe essentials kit. And this includes 3 really useful things. One is this little hook that has a little lock on it. So if you get a snag on fabric and you want to pull it through to the inside so it's not on the outside of your fabric, you put this tiny little hook through from the back, hook the snag in it, and when you start to pull it back to the other side, the little lock flips up and holds the thread in that little hook so that you can pull it right through to the back side, and then it won't show on the front anymore. It also has this really sharp, what is this called? It's like a needle, but it doesn't have a hole in it. One end is just a point like a needle, and the other end looks kind of like a file. So sometimes on some like fuzzy knits, if you get like some sort of snag or something, or a little hole, you can push this up through and kind of wrap the thread around the part that's rough like a file, and then pull that back through to the outside. And that works really good to repair problems that you have. And then the last thing is this big red part. This is like a little snag, not snag, but like a fabric sweater comb. So you know how some sweaters, some fabrics pill, some pill more than others? This, you can just run it along and it will take care of all those pills that get on your sweaters and things like that. So this is like a handy little kit, has 3 great tools to help you fix any fabric problems you might be having. Okay, something else fun for you guys. I think you will like this. I have for you cute little readers. So we have 4 different strengths for you, ranging from 2.5, well, no, let me see. Ranging from 1.5, and then 2, 2.5, and then 3 strengths for readers. I don't know about you guys, I need readers everywhere. I need them in my drawers of my dresser, because sometimes I need to look at the tags of what I pull out of my dresser. I need them in the kitchen. I need them in the laundry room. I need them, obviously, in the sewing room. In fact, these glasses that I wear all the time are just readers. I need them so much that I just wear these all the time. These don't have a correction in the top. So they come in these really darling bags that apparently I'm having a very hard time opening, and they're so stinking cute, you guys. Like, look at these. They're all different colors, and they have different printed handles and these cute printed bags, and like these are 2.0. Honestly, don't we all need lots of really cute pairs of readers in every room? You need them in your purse, you need them in your car, really in the kitchen. You need them everywhere. So, darling, fun readers. They call them Stitchy readers because, well, we need them everywhere. And I also find that I kind of need different strengths of them. So we have 4 different strengths. They come in a really cute little pouch, little holder, and they're really, really cute. And you all need cute glasses, for sure. All right, I want to tell you about these cute English breakfast, this pattern for this little quilt. Mallory is making this as well, and I'll show you. So this is a fun little pattern, and what she is doing is she is making it into placemats and just running 4 of those cute little teacups and saucers down one side to make a set of placemats. This would also be cute running down the middle of a table runner. This would be cute made into a mug cozy, a mug rug, I guess they're called. This little quilt is a wall hanging size. The finished quilt is 29 by 27 and a half. So it's not very big. This pack is charm pack friendly. And so if you have a cute charm pack that you have been saving to make something cute with, maybe these little English breakfast teacups is going to be the ticket for you. The Stitchy sticks, that little set of tools, would be great for holding and helping you to press all the tiny little seams that you're going to have to use when you are piecing together the handles for the cups, because this is not paper pieced, it's just regular pieced. So you don't need to be like worried if you are not a paper piecer. If you're not someone who enjoys paper piecing, then you don't have to worry about that. It's just regular piecing. And because the pieces are kind of small, those little Stitchy sticks will help you with your pressing and your sewing of those little pieces. But they just are so darling and turn out really, really cute. So be looking in the store after Sew Fun, and you'll see Mallory will have the wall hanging part done, and you'll be able to check that out, and I think you'll really like it. Okay, I want to tell you about this book, Quilts for Baby and Beyond. I love this quilt book. There are so many really cool, I think the word to describe these quilts for me is dramatic. They are so dramatic, they're modern and interesting. They come together very quickly with this great ruler that I'm going to tell you about. I just love them. I really like this one. I don't know if you can see it. It has this really cool giant star design on the middle of it. And they give you really good, oh, here's a really cute picture of it. How darling is that? They give you directions on how to do that rounded edge. I really liked this one a lot. I just think it's so interesting, and you can do so many different things with it. I know, look at all the pages I have marked with sticky notes. I just love them. I love this one called Infinity Stones, and it has instructions for either an octagon or a square version of this. So cool and interesting. I really like this one. And they come together really quickly. This is the one that I have to show you today, and there'll be more in the store during the week after So Fun. This one's called Color Wheel, and I have never made a quilt that was this shape before, but I think it is so dramatic. And like they did, I did it all in solids because it just cries out for that. And it came together really very quickly. And what was really great about this book is that they recommend using this Super Sidekick ruler. And this ruler, they give you directions for how to cut every angle for every quilt in this book. And on this ruler, they have for cutting the triangles and the diamonds that are used in all the quilts in this book. This ruler has sizes 1.5 up to 8.5. So it will make 1 inch up to 8 inch diamonds and triangles. Really, really easy to use. It wasn't hard to figure out. Some rulers, I feel like the instructions are super complicated. This was not. Super easy. It made these quilts come together really, really quickly. And I just think this is a really, really great ruler to go with this really great book. One of the fun things about this ruler is that the way they have you do it is that you just turn it and flip it based on which angle of the triangle you're making. And the instructions show you really clearly how to do that and how to cut it for each of the designs in the quilt. They're very easy to follow. If you do not have that ruler, they do have a page where you can trace the templates for the different sizes of diamonds and triangles that you'll need for the various patterns in the book. But the ruler makes it really, really quick and easy. Another really fun notion that I have really loved working with, this So Fun, are these. And this is called the binding tool, and this is the mini binding tool. Hence, you can see the difference. It tells you, number 1, sew on your binding, leave a 12-inch opening, and you need a 10-inch tail of binding on both sides. And then it has a little diagram. It shows you how to do it. You lay your binding tool, it has this angle, right up against where you stopped sewing, where your opening is. You measure, pull the binding tight against the tool, and draw a line along this slanted edge. Then you flip the binding tool over, do the same thing on the other side, draw a line. You open up the folded binding and continue the line that you drew, that slanted line, so that you have the angle. Then you cut along that line, and then you bring those two angles together, stitch it, and it fits perfectly. And there you have your binding all done. So quick, so easy. This is for smaller bindings. This is for your standard 2.5-inch binding, and this is for the 2-inch binding. You can see the difference there. And so this one, the measurements are slightly smaller. You only need to leave a 6-inch opening and a 6-inch tail for this one. So like I used this when I was doing the binding around the little traveler needle keeper, that binding, I used this. It worked great. And for the quilts and other things that I have to bind. So again, this is one of those little tools that it does, because when I am binding a quilt, like I have a method that I like for connecting the tails that works pretty good, that has a mitered edge to cut down on the bulk. But I have to like look it up every time and like refamiliarize myself with how to do it. This is really quick, works really, really slick, and I think that this will be a really useful tool. That's it for So Fun this month. I hope that you have been inspired and that you have found something that you would like to make, and that it helps you think of some projects you want to make.